of aggressors is quite befitting any ordinary man, but Arjuna was not an ordinary person. He was saintly by character, and therefore he wanted to deal with them in saintliness. This kind of saintliness, however, is not for a Kshatriya, especially not in the battlefield. When you are in the battlefield, you are supposed to fight, supposed to kill the aggressors. And if we look at the Mahabharata, story of Mahabharata, Duryodhana and his party, they did all these 6 kinds of aggression against Pandavas. They did all 6. So they were fit to be killed, even according to this calculation. There's no way Arjun should not fight. But he is saintly, he is a devotee. That's what Prabhupada says in the previous verse somewhere, that in a devotee all the good qualities are present. Sometimes people ask this question, that there is a person who's not a devotee, but he has so many pious qualities. He is very pious. And on the other hand, there is a devotee who says he is a devotee, but he does all sorts of nonsense things. So which one is better? This question people generally ask. Which one is better?
Devotee.
Why?
We got the Krishna on his side.
But he is doing all sorts of nonsense things. His behavior is not proper. He might be wearing kanthi mala, but he is saying things that don't add up with the scriptures. On the other hand, there's a person who doesn't believe in Krishna, he never speaks a lie, he's very affectionate, very soft-hearted, very humble.
I think Krishna him.
Non-devotee, because then they can learn to be a devotee because they have good qualities and good nature.
Okay.
I think in one of the verses Krishna says himself that even if there is a Chandal, but if he is my devotee, he should be worshipped.
He should be considered a sadhu. Actually, according to Krishna's version, according to scriptures, a devotee is better of the two. Even if he's not behaving properly right now. It's just like if a person is dirty and if he's taking shower, sooner or later he'll get cleansed. But if a person is not taking shower, no matter how clean he looks, he is not taking shower, he is not going to get cleansed. When he becomes a devotee, it's a different story. So devotee is always better. Of course, in dealing with the devotee, that's a different story. How you deal with them. How much you associate with whom, that you have to see. That we have to see. But a devotee is still more dear to Krishna than anybody else. That's what Krishna says. What's that?
Krishna takes care of all his sins, whatever he does.
Well, it depends how much he is surrendered.
Yeah.
How much he is surrendered. But sooner or later, he'll become okay. Yes, ma'am.
Is there a chance to change the person, or will the devotee ever change? Does he
Of
realize that he's doing bad and he should?
That's why I said sooner or later, he will change. So one who is chanting the names of Krishna, one who is following the 9 Navdha Bhakti, 9 processes, 1, 2 or all 9, whatever he is doing, he is a devotee and sooner or later he'll change. But a person who's not doing this Navdha Bhakti, it's very difficult. It is difficult. And especially if a person is if a person is so nice, pious, very humble, so he is in mode of goodness, it's very difficult to convert these people in mode of goodness to devotional service. Because they are very much satisfied with their lives. Even mode of ignorance is very difficult. The mode of passion, they are the ones who would take up to this process fast. Because they are very passionate people, they want more and more. So this is how we preach to them in the beginning. You come to Bhakti, you'll get peace, you'll ask Krishna whatever you want, this and that. So they generally they come to Bhakti easily. For mode of goodness people also, they will not come very easily. But they're completely satisfied. They're happy in their lives. They don't need anything, they don't demand anything. It's very difficult. You can ask question in the middle, I don't mind. Okay, so Prabhupada is writing. This kind of saintliness, however, is not for a Kshatriya. Although the responsible man in the administration of a state is required to be saintly, he should not be cowardly. For example, Lord Ram was so saintly that people even now are anxious to live in the kingdom of Lord Ram, Ram Rajya. But Lord Ram never showed any cowardice. Ravan was an aggressor against Ram because Ravan kidnapped Ram's wife, Sita. But Lord Ram gave him sufficient lessons, unparalleled in the history of the world. In Arjuna's case, however, one should consider the special type of aggressors, namely his own grandfather, own teacher, friends, sons, grandsons, etc. Because of them, Arjuna thought that he should not take the severe steps necessary against ordinary aggressors. Because he was thinking of them in terms of their bodily relationships. And this is the first thing that Krishna taught Arjuna, that we are not this body, we are spirit souls. So what bodily relationship you are talking about? So he told Arjuna, you deal with them on the basis of souls, not just body. A body is gonna be finished sooner or later anyway. Besides that, saintly persons are advised to forgive. Such injunctions for saintly persons are more important than any political emergency. Arjuna considered that rather than kill his own kinsmen for political reasons, it would be better to forgive them on grounds of religion and saintly behavior. He did not therefore consider such killing profitable simply for the matter of temporary bodily happiness. After all, kingdoms and the pleasures derived therefrom are not permanent. So why should he risk his life and eternal salvation by killing his own kinsmen? So he is considering that the kingdom, even if I win, it will not be permanent. And even this body is not permanent. So if I kill them, I will commit sinful activity for them, for which I have to suffer for such a long time in hell. So which is better? Just to enjoy kingdom for another maybe 30, 40 years, but again go to hell for a long time? Or just don't do this? Arjuna's addressing of Krishna as Madhav, or the husband of goddess of fortune, is also significant in this connection. He wanted to point out to Krishna that as a husband of the goddess of fortune, he should not induce Arjuna to take up a matter which would ultimately bring about misfortune. Krishna, however, never brings misfortune to anyone, to say nothing of his own devotees. So wherever there is Krishna, there is fortune has to be there. But fortune doesn't always mean in the terms of money. Doesn't necessarily mean it's fortune. The real fortune will be there if Krishna is there. So this is Arjuna's doubt. And what Prabhupada is saying, according to this Vedic injunction about the 6 kinds of aggressors, there is no problem in him killing the side of Kauravas. But Arjuna is a saintly person, he is a devotee of Krishna. So he is thinking and he is feeling very much the why I should kill them. And in one of the purports, Prabhupada writes that Arjuna's feeling of compassion and all these different doubts is not because of Maya. It's because of Yoga Maya, because of spiritual potency of Krishna. Where Arjuna is on such a level that Mahamaya will not work on him. Krishna wanted him to put him in these doubts so that Bhagavad Gita can be spoken. So Krishna uses one of his devotees to bring about the ultimate good for the mankind. Similarly, how Srimad Bhagavatam was spoken. When Maharaj Parikshit, he went to this ashram of Shamik Rishi, and Shamik Rishi was doing tapasya. And Maharaj Parikshit went and put a dead snake around his neck. Can't expect Parikshit Maharaj to do this. Why? Because he was hungry and thirsty and Shamik Rishi didn't get up to greet the king. Didn't make sense. And then Parikshit Maharaj left that ashram, he came back to his palace, and the son of Shamik Rishi, Shringi, came, and he gave a curse to Parikshit Maharaj. In 7 days you will die. After 7 days, Takshak will come and kill you, bite you, and you will die. Parikshit Maharaj, he left everything, left his kingdom, made his son as a king, and he came to listen to Srimad Bhagavatam. And when he was listening to Srimad Bhagavatam, Shukdev Goswami came, all the sages came from all over the universe because they knew Srimad Bhagavatam will be spoken. 7 days, 7 nights, none of the audience and the speaker, they even got up from that place. Continuously listening to Srimad Bhagavatam. So that time Parikshit Maharaj wasn't feeling any hunger or thirst, or he wasn't even feeling sleepy or afraid or anything. And just few days before, he was so hungry and so thirsty, he put a dead snake around the neck of Shamik Rishi. So these two things don't add up. The thing was, and even when Parikshit Maharaj, this Yoga Maya was working when he put the snake around Shamik Rishi's neck. Because Krishna wanted Srimad Bhagavatam to be spoken. And now Krishna wanted Bhagavad Gita to be spoken for the benefit of all of us. And that's why he is putting Arjuna in this kind of situation. So he puts his devotee only in these kinds of situations. So when we start on the process of bhakti, obviously in the beginning we are so neophyte. Krishna's Yoga Maya, I don't think it will work on us. We are still in Mahamaya. But even if somebody becomes advanced devotee, Krishna can use him to set an example for others. So we should not judge a devotee by if he is not acting properly. He could be used by Krishna in some way that benefits, or that is Krishna's plan. He could be. So we cannot judge him. So only person who could be judged or who could comment is his authority. his seniors versus authority. If we judge him, if we comment, if we criticize, we can commit aparadh, offense. And that is very serious. So that way we have to be careful in bhakti. Should we go to the next verse?
Yeah.
And any idea how long this conversation of Bhagavad Gita lasted between Krishna and Arjuna?
7 days?
No, that was Bhagavad.
Bhag-
Few minutes?
How much is few minutes? 2 minutes, 3 minutes?
4 or 5 minutes?
You can chant all these verses in 4 or 5 minutes? I mean, they were speaking only in Sanskrit, okay, forget about purports and translation.
1 hour?
No, not 1 hour, less than that.
1 year?
No, the war had to start. They were there to fight. 48 minutes.
Usually when we recite the entire Bhagavad Gita, it takes us 2 hours at least.
But we recite shloka and translation. Or just the shlokas.
No, I mean on the Gita
Gita
Jayanti.
Jayanti day. So we should recite just a Sanskrit
Just the shloka
shloka, only shlokas, no translation. It takes 2 hours.
3 hours.
3 hours.
We are not used to chanting Sanskrit properly. That's why. When Krishna and Arjuna speaking, they're just speaking the shloka. They didn't need purpose to understand. It's for us to understand. So they say it lasted 48 minutes. And Arjuna in 10th chapter only, he admitted, Krishna, you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So in 10th chapter would be maybe like half an hour later or 20 minutes, 25 minutes later. So Arjun was not in Maya. In only 20-25 minutes I understood who is Krishna and what I have to do.
And we read for years.
Oh, if it takes us 48 lifetimes to understand Bhagavad Gita, that'll be okay.
Bigger problem is we think we know.
Oh yeah. Just like if you ask anybody in India who's not read Prabhupada's Gita, if you ask him, what's the message of Gita? What did Krishna say in Bhagavad Gita? Only one.
Karma phala.
Yeah. Karam kiya ja, phal ki chinta mat kar.
And there are some messages, they say they are from Gita, but they are nowhere in Gita.
No.
The whole calendar.
Like तुम्हारा क्या गया, तुम किस लिए रोते हो?
Ah, that
Those ones.
nowhere in Bhagavad Gita. And also when they say, the karam kiya ja, phal ki chinta mat kar. That verse appeared in 2nd chapter. Karmanne vadikaraste, right? And they only know this 1/4 of the whole verse. They don't even know the rest of 3/4. They don't talk about that. And they just know they know Bhagavad Gita. That's also a problem. And then I asked them, okay, then why did Krishna speak 16 more chapters after this? This verse appeared in 2nd chapter. So if this is the topmost verse, Krishna should have stopped right there. Why had to speak 16 more chapters? It's making our lives more difficult. We have to memorize, we have to give lectures on all the 18 chapters. It would be easier, just 2 chapters and it's done. But that's not the essence. Actually, if we look at it from bhakti point of view, that is the essence actually of Bhagavad Gita. But people don't look at it from bhakti point of view. They look at it from mundane work point of view. So then it is not the topmost verse. So that's why to understand Bhagavad Gita, we have to get to the mentality and mood of Arjuna. Then we can. Because Krishna says, you are my devotee, you are my friend, that's why I am giving you this knowledge. And later on he says, because you are not envious of me. So these three qualities are necessary, essential for us to understand Bhagavad Gita. Otherwise we cannot. Next two verses. Yadyapyete na pashyanti
Yadyapyetena pasyanti
lobhopahat chetasaha kulakshay kritam dosham mitradrohe cha patakam katham na geyam asmabhi papadasman nivartitum kulakshay kritam dosham prapashyadbhir janardana. So when we count, if somebody wants to count here the syllables, when there is this halant, like in pathakam, under ma there is this line, it's called halant. So that is half syllable, so we don't count that. So Arjuna is saying, O Janardhan, although these men, their hearts overtaken by greed, see no fault in killing one's family or quarreling with friends, why should we, who can see the crime in destroying a family, engage in these acts of sin? So here Arjuna referred to Krishna as Janardhan. So Janardhan Prabhupada describes, here he says of Krishna, but it says maintainer of people. So basically here Arjuna is also referring to Janardhan. Oh, you're the maintainer of people. Why you want me to kill them? You should be maintaining them. A Kshatriya is not supposed to refuse to battle or gamble when he is so invited by some rival party. Under such an obligation, Arjuna could not refuse to fight, because he had been challenged by the party of Duryodhana. In this connection, Arjuna considered that the other party might be blind to the effects of such a challenge. Arjuna, however, could see the evil consequences and could not accept the challenge. Obligation is actually binding when the effect is good, but when the effect is otherwise, then no one could be bound. No one can be bound. Considering all these pros and cons, Arjuna decided not to fight. So he's saying, all I see is only the misfortune here, problems here. Why did I fight? So now he gets to the next reason, because of this destruction of family, unwanted progeny, these things will start. So should we go, because that's the next theme will start here. So we should stop here.
No, we can go.
We can keep going?
I assume that whoever is coming here today in the long weekend, I'm sure they have no plans.
So we can be a little late and no problem there. Okay. Finish? First chapter? No problem. I don't have a problem. But this verse, 239,
Total 46.
I think especially the purport of 240, we'll have some issues there.
You can stop before that.
Okay, no, let's do 239. 139. Kulakshaya pranashayanti
Kulakshaya pranashayanti
Kuldharma sanatana
Kuldharma sanatana
Dharme nashte kulam kritsnam
Dharme naste kulam krishnam
Dharmo vibhavati yuta.
Dharmo vibhavati yuta.
With the destruction of the dynasty, the eternal family tradition is vanquished, and thus the rest of the family becomes involved in irreligion. So with the destruction of the dynasty, the eternal family tradition is vanquished, and thus the rest of the family becomes involved in irreligion. In the system, the Varnashram institution, there are many principles of religious traditions to help members of the family grow properly and attain spiritual values. So this is how the whole Varnashram system was established, to make the family grow properly and attain spiritual values. It wasn't just like eat, drink and be merry and that's it. Why worry about future and next life? So Varnashram was establish so people understand the family values and the spiritual values that they have to attain. And who would teach them? The elder members are responsible for such purifying processes in the family, beginning from birth to death. So only the elder members, they would teach the rest of the family members how this tradition and how this knowledge to be implemented. But on the death of the elder members, such family traditions of purification may stop, and the remaining younger family members may develop irreligious habits and thereby lose their chance for spiritual salvation. Therefore, for no purpose should the elder members of the family be slain. So these are Arjuna's questions. And he is putting forth very good doubts, very moral issues he is bringing forth. He's saying if all these people, they get killed here, so the family members back home, they'll be unprotected and nobody will be there to teach them. And there will be problem later on in the future. And exactly this is happening right now. People don't listen to the elders. The traditions are stopping. They don't believe in those traditions either. Especially like the Shraddha ceremony. This will come here also. Right now, still some people do because parents want it. They have no faith in it. And what will happen next generation? They'll not ask their kids to continue with it. Karna karo, nahi karna na karo, it's okay. And they'll say, oh, what's so different? He is dead, long gone. I mean, come on. Why I have to go to Gaya and Pahova or Haridwar to do all these things? How does it work? It's not working. And many other traditions, they'll be lost like that. Like outside India, how many people do all this Shraddha ceremony? It's all long gone. And this is the problem. And Arjuna is bringing out these questions. And this is exactly what happened in Kali Yuga. And it's going to happen more and more and more. Adharma vibhavat Krishna.
Adharma abhivavat Krishna.
Pradushyanti kulastriya.
Padushyanti kulastriya.
Strishu dushta suvarshneya.
Shushta Vashneya.
Jayate varna sankaraha.
Jayate Varna Shankara.
When irreligion is prominent in the family of Krishna, the women of the family become polluted. And from the degradation of womanhood or descendant of Vrishni comes unwanted progeny. So here Arjuna is referring to Krishna as Varshneya, or descendant of Vrishni. So he's saying your family lineage is completely intact. Why you want to break down the family lineage of everybody else? You are Varshneya. Why? What about the other families? They'll all be destroyed. Okay, so now the mothers have to forgive me, but this is what Prabhupada wrote. Good population in human society is the basic principle for peace, prosperity and spiritual progress in life. The Varnashram religion's principles were so designed that the good population would prevail in society for the general spiritual progress of state and community. Such population depends on the chastity and faithfulness of its womanhood. As children are very prone to be misled, women are similarly very prone to degradation. Therefore, both children and women require protection by the elder members of the family. By being engaged in various religious practices, women will not be misled into adultery. According to Chanakya Pandit, women are generally not very intelligent, therefore not trustworthy.
That's not true.
I didn't write all this.
Women are very intelligent compared to men.
think they have to be corrected.
Chanakya Pandit is long dead, so I cannot go back and tell him to change his word.
This is older, 5,000 years ago, not now. Now women are more intelligent.
And also, every man behind there is a woman. Don't forget that.
Okay, I think we need some discussion. Or should we skip this?
Behind every wall there is a woman.
See, there is a psychophysical difference in men and women. That it's natural. It's nothing wrong, it's nothing, nobody is inferior or superior, it's just different. The different natures are there. Women generally tend to be more emotional. They think from their hearts. Men tend to be thinking from their brains. Exceptions are always there. I'm not saying like there's a black and white, there are gray areas also. It's a general. It doesn't mean ladies are any inferior. It doesn't mean that. And men are superior. Just because men are physically more powerful, doesn't mean they're superior. Where does it say that? Physically more powerful, so they're supposed to protect, not exploit. Because this family traditions and this knowledge is missing, that's why all these problems are happening. Just like in a house, even if both husband and wife are working, who do you think can run the house better?
Women.
It's not in the genes of men to run that house. It's just not there. No matter how much they try. They just cannot do that. But on the other hand, men are more fit to go outside, work, make money. That's their job. And fight also. He's showing me his muscles. That's what they are designed for. It doesn't mean, and at home, when I used to work, okay, my job was maybe 8-9 hours a day, and then rush hour traffic going, coming back. At the most like 11 or at the most 12 hours. But at home it's 24/7 job. Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Jamna Tira Vanachari Jamna Tira Vanachari Jamna Tira Vanachari Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Jaya Gondami Hari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Jaya Gopijana Gopijana Vallabha Jaya It's an honor to be here. So what's the topic that's going on, or maybe you have some topic in mind?
We have been doing Bhagavad Gita. We are still on chapter 1. We recently started in January.
Oh, okay.
Before that, we were doing the Bhakti Vriksha module for
Okay.
a couple of years. But it's up to you, Prabhuji, whatever you feel appropriate.
Whatever is going on.
Okay. So we were on, I think the next is chapter 1, verse 36.
Okay.
हाँ उधर बॉक्स रखा हुआ है प्रोजी इसके पीछे 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 तो थोड़ा वॉल्यूम
So you all prefer Hindi or English?
English.
English. Kids don't understand Hindi.
And couple of Mataji's in the back.
Acha. Okay, that's
You can mix it later on.
no, it doesn't matter.
हाँ
So you study Bhagavad Gita among yourselves, and
no, we have
somebody
Prabhuji coming from Harrisburg. there are 4 or 5 Prabhujis coming from Harrisburg.
Okay.
So they come every week in rotation and then they take the classes. Yeah, 36. Chapter 1, 36. Isha aunty को दे दो. तुझे प्रभु को देना, तुझे अंकल. Next time.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So you're studying Bhagavad Gita. The first chapter actually it's a foundation or it's the basis of rest of the chapters. Because this is where Arjuna is putting his doubts in front of Krishna. The Bhagavad Gita opens with the words that Dhritarashtra said. So I'm pretty sure you're memorizing the verses also? No. No. Yeah, there are some important verses we can memorize.
Bhavya wants to say something.
Yada.
No, that's not that. Yeah. Okay, so Dhritarashtra said, he is asking Sanjay, that my sons and the sons of Pandu, they assembled in the place of pilgrimage, Kurukshetra, desiring to fight. What did they do? So, this is how Bhagavad Gita opens. So, Dhritarashtra is not asking what are they doing. Kim akurvat Sanjay. He is not saying Kim kurvanti Sanjay. Means what did they do? So actually what had happened, Sanjay was also part of the battle. He was in the war. But as we know, the war of Mahabharata lasted for
18.
18 days. Okay. I'm going to ask questions also in the middle.
Nobody can
So
sleep.
nobody sleeps. So war lasted for 18 days. And from Kaurav side, who was the commander-in-chief? Bhishma Pitama. And from Pandava side?
Drishtadyumna.
Oh, you knew it? Okay. So Drishtadyumna, Draupadi's brother. So Bhishma Pitama was commander-in-chief from Kaurava side. But he was put on bed of arrows by Arjun on the 9th day. So 9th day is when Sanjay left Kurukshetra, he went back to Hastinapur. And that is when, and 10th morning is when he met Dhritarashtra. So that's why Dhritarashtra's question is, what did they do? Because he didn't know what is happening in the war. And Sanjay was given this special vision by Vedvyas himself. So when he went back to Hastinapur, so from Hastinapur he could see what was happening in the battle of Kurukshetra, and then he would give live commentary. But first he will give whatever has happened. Because before the war, this Bhagavad Gita was spoken, and he wanted to give this message of Bhagavad Gita to Dhritarashtra for his purification. Otherwise he could have just started from where the war began. But no, he wanted to give the full message to Dhritarashtra. So far you have studied, Dhritarashtra has this question, and Sanjay started describing that how Duryodhana, he went to Guru Dronacharya, describing who's in the Pandavas' army and who's in my army. So any idea why did Duryodhana go to Guru Dronacharya instead of Bhishma? Bhishma Dev was the commander-in-chief. They're very, very.
He was his guru.
Because he knew that Pitambara will take Arjun to right.
No, not that reason. Okay.
Sapataka.
Dronacharya was
Guru.
Guru. See, Duryodhan, he was a very big diplomat. He was not just like in B.R. Chopra Mahabharata, they show him like a stubborn person. No, he was a diplomat. He knew politics. So he knew Bhishma Pitama is already commander-in-chief and Guru Dronacharya didn't have a position. Although his guru is a Brahman, but still he was in the battlefield. So he went to Guru Dronacharya to give him some importance. So he doesn't feel bad that Bhishma Pitama is commander-in-chief, what is my position? And moreover, he is a Brahman and Bhishma Pitama was a Kshatriya. So if he goes to a Brahman, a Kshatriya will not feel bad. At the same time, he had to make sure Bhishma Pitama doesn't feel bad either. So he goes to Dronacharya and he describes the army. And he describes the army of Pandava. He says, "Oh, the intelligent son of your friend Drupad." He didn't directly say Drishtadyumna. He said, because he wanted to incite this anger in Dronacharya, because Dronacharya and Drupad had some fight. So your intelligent son of your friend Drupad has arranged this army. And then he says, our army, because it's protected by Bhishma Pitama, he used one word and which means which has two meanings. Either it means it's not enough or it means immeasurable. It depends who is listening to that. If Bhishma Pitama is listening, he is saying, "Oh, under my protection, this army is immeasurable, the strength is immeasurable, it's so good." And if Dronacharya is listening, "Oh, under Bhishma's protection, the strength is not enough, so I have to put in my full effort." He was a big diplomat. But then he started describing his army, and then Bhishma Pitama, out of his love for Duryodhan and to give him some satisfaction, he blew his conch shell, and all the warriors from the Kaurava side, started blowing their conch shells, and the warriors from Pandava side, they started blowing their conch shells. But the names of the warriors, of the 5 brothers and Krishna, the name of their conch shells is given in Bhagavad Gita. So basically it is clear from this passage only that only these 5 brothers will be saved after the war. And obviously Krishna, nobody can kill Krishna. Only 3 persons from the other side were saved. Ashwatthama, Kripacharya and Satyaki. That's it. Rest everybody died. Any idea how many people died in this battle of Mahabharata?
11
Give
plus.
me some guess.
64 crores.
अरे वो आपने पढ़ी है 640 million, 64 crore people. That's a lot. Because armies went from all over the world to fight in that battle. Okay, so another question. You didn't expect a flying squad to come in and ask questions. Have you been to Kurukshetra? Has anybody been to Kurukshetra? You been there? So how big is that place?
Not too big.
Not too big, right? It's even smaller than Delhi. Delhi is quite big in front of Kurukshetra. And Delhi's population is about 3 crore. And how can we imagine 64 crore people assembling in Kurukshetra? And not just people, they had like chariots, horses, elephants, and other people also helping the warriors. Cooks must be there, cleaners, everybody has to be there. Medical people has to be there. And there should be place for fighting also. What if there's a traffic jam between the chariots? How are they going to fight? But no such thing happened. We don't hear of any such thing. How is it possible? Or is it just mythological figure? You think it's possible? So does it sound logical?
Maybe they were replacing every day. So many were getting killed.
Oh, still only in 18 days.
I tried
Only
my
18
calculation, it
days.
didn't work out.
Recently we went to Dwarka last December, our group. We take trips to different places every time. And Dwarka is also a very small place. It's not that big. And if you read Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna had 16,108 queens. They all were living in Dwarka, and every queen had a different palace. And from every queen, Krishna had 10 sons and 1 daughter. Big family. All of his 10 sons from every queen, they again got married, and they all had 10 sons and 1 daughter. And of course, if Krishna, and it is said in Bhagavatam, the number of teachers for that family only, there are 38 million teachers. And obviously, if teachers are there, their families have to be there. And if Krishna is there, his family is there, there has to be some population in the city also. Who are going to rule? And if this population is there has to be marketplaces, there have to be roads, there have to be gardens, and the population has to have houses. And in Bhagavatam it is not mentioned that there were multi-storied buildings. It's not mentioned anywhere. And it's also not mentioned that there were any traffic jams. That time there were only chariots or horses, they would go on. And there were no traffic jams. And Dwarka is such a small place. And also on top of it, Maharaj Ugrasen, who was the king of Dwarka, his personal attendants, his bodyguards and his attendants, it's mind-boggling figure, 3 trillion. And they all were living in Dwarka. So for Krishna, everything is possible. Everything. Huh? For Krishna, everything is possible. He can do anything and everything. He is God himself, he is Supreme Personality of Godhead. He can do anything. If he wants, he can fit the whole population of this world just on the tip of his thumb. And there won't be any traffic jams or any living problem, anything else. He can do that. This is how powerful he is. That's why we have to understand who's the speaker of Bhagavad Gita. Is Lord Krishna. And that's why Srila Prabhupada, afterwards, in 2nd chapter, when Krishna starts speaking, and Vedvyasi says, Shri Bhagavan Vacha, in the very first verse, when Krishna starts speaking, Prabhupada gives a long purport to explain who is Krishna. So we don't just misunderstand him. What's his position? He has these 6 opulences and he is full of all the potencies. He can do anything and everything. And that's why when he says in the end, Sarva Dharman Pariteja Mam Ekam Sharanam Raja, that we should not doubt. We should not doubt him, that he'll not take care of us. He will take care. when he tells Arjun, you declare it boldly, my devotee never perishes. We should not doubt his words. Bhagavad Gita, what's the purpose of Bhagavad Gita? To make us surrender to Krishna, to make us devotees of Krishna. That's the whole purpose. And because if somebody has doubt in him, he will not surrender, obviously. So Bhagavad Gita removes all the doubts in our minds. That should be the effect of reading Bhagavad Gita. And that is Krishna. When he can fit so many people in that little place of Kurukshetra. And also it is said in Bhagavad Gita, also in the one of the purpose says that whoever died in the war of Mahabharata, whether he was from Kaurava side or Pandava side, they all went back to Vaikuntha Loka. They all went back because they died in front of Krishna. And obviously animals must have also died. So many animals must have died. But because they all died in that battlefield in front of Krishna, they all went back. This is how powerful Krishna is. Also it is said, Acharyas have analyzed, Arjun, when he started to put in his doubts, now he is starting, and before his doubts, Arjun asked Krishna, please take my chariot in the middle of the two armies. I want to see who have assembled here to fight. And now 18 Akshohini Senas is there, 11 on Kaurava side, 7 on Pandava side. And it's a huge army. Krishna could have taken Arjuna's chariot anywhere between the two armies. But he knew what's going on in Arjuna's mind and he took the chariot right in front of Bhishma and Dronacharya. He could have taken anywhere, but he took him right in front, just to bewilder him more. And when he saw Bhishma, Dronacharya, Duryodhana and other relatives from both, and on his side also he is seeing, so he got bewildered. So he is asking questions. First he says, oh, I cannot fight, he was shivering, and Prabhupada says he was also crying. His throat was drying, and his Gandhi fell down, the famous bow of Arjun, it fell down. He lost his composure, and then he started putting his doubts. So there are 5 doubts that Arjuna, 5 categories Acharyas have explained. So first category is compassion. He felt compassionate towards the soldiers, towards the warriors from both sides. Second doubt was no happiness. Will not find happiness. Third was it is sinful if you're going to kill so many people, especially my guru and my grandfather, if I kill them, it'll be sinful. Fourth was family tradition will be lost, Varna Sankar. And fifth doubt that comes in second chapter is he was confused whether I should fight or not. So these are the 5 doubts that he put across. So in the previous verse, 32 through 35, basically he's saying we will not find happiness. Why should we fight? And in every verse, Arjun used a different name of Krishna. He called Krishna by a different name. And it very much fits that verse. There is a reason why he chose to address Krishna with different name. So today's verse, 36. So everybody going to repeat after me? No?
Sure.
Papameva shriyadasman
Papameva shreyad asman
Hatvaitanat taina
Hatvetan attainah
Tasmanarha vayam hantum
तस्मान्नरः वयं हन्तुं
dhartarashtra sabandhavan
धार्तराष्ट्रान् सबान्धवान्
swajanam hi katham hatva
स्वजनं हि कथं हत्वा
sukhina syam madhava
सुखिना श्याम माधव
papameva shvedasman
पापमेव श्रेयस्मान्
hatvetanatataina
हत्वेतानततायिना
tasmanarha vayam hantum
तस्मान्नरः वयं हन्तुं
dhartarashtraन् sabandhavan
धार्तराष्ट्रान् सबान्धवान्
swajanam hi katham hatva
स्वजनं हि कथं हत्वा
sukhinah syam madhava.
सुखिनः श्याम माधवः.
Okay, in the composition of these verses in Sanskrit, there is a rule of grammar. So if you don't look at the English transliteration, if you just look at the Sanskrit verse, the first line, Papam eva shreya dasman, how do we know where to break this? Because English is there, we know, no? It's easy. If you're just reading Sanskrit, so in these, when there are 2-line or this 3-line words, there's a 8 syllable rule, where 8 full syllables are there, that's where we break. So let's count. Pa, pa, ma, va, sh, ra, da, ma. Va, pa, ma, 3, va, 4, sh, ya, 5, 6, da, ma, 8. Half syllable we don't count. So similarly next, ha, va, ta, na, 4, ta, ta, ya, na, 8. This is rule. It's not like they're gonna just use any word anywhere.
This is very useful, Prabhuji. Very useful.
Because otherwise you don't know where to break if it is a long word.
पूरा मीनिंग चेंज हो जाता है.
Pura meaning change हो जाएगा. That's why when she chanted na first verse, if you go to the first verse, page 31, I tell you one technical problem. It's just technical. Of course, in English they have written it properly. When you break it, it becomes like that. But when we are chanting the verse, the second line, Mamaka Pandavas Chaiva, right? The word in Sanskrit is Kim Kurvat Sanjay. Of course, in English, when it Kim Kurvat, which is fine because that's how it is. But we cannot add another in there. So then it is okay, na? Kim Kurvat. Ka, ma, kavata, 5, sa, jaya, 8. If you add another it becomes 9. Then according to rules of Sanskrit, it is wrong.
Exception.
Okay, so Arjun is saying, sin will overcome us if we slay such aggressors. It's in one way it's wrong. As a Kshatriya, he cannot say somebody is aggressive, somebody is trying to attack me, and I should not attack back, I should not defend myself. He's saying sin will overcome us. Because he is a devotee. He's thinking way too much before starting the war. He doesn't want to commit any sin. Although he's calling them aggressors, but still he's saying, I don't want to kill them. Therefore it's not proper for us to kill the sons of Dhritarashtra and our friends. What should we gain of Krishna? The Krishna's name is used here as Madhav. O Krishna, husband of the goddess of fortune, and how could we be happy by killing our own kinsmen? So he is calling Krishna as Madhav. Madhav means husband of goddess of fortune. So indirectly he is saying, you are the husband of goddess of fortune. But if I fight this war, if I kill so many people, I only see misfortune. So what kind of friend you are of mine? With you around, I should have all the fortune in my life. And if I kill people, especially my guru, my grandfather, my other relatives, I see only misfortune. I see only sin. If I commit sin, I'll go to hell. What fortune we are talking here? So these are the confusions, these are the doubts of Arjuna. And they're very valid doubts actually. But Krishna is Madhav. And if he is God, a husband of goddess of fortune, so the fortune has to be there in the life of his devotees. So he's going to protect Arjuna and first he's going to kill his doubts. And then he's going to, later on, when he starts speaking, and then later on tell him about Bhakti Yoga. The first thing that he'll do is clear his doubts. So wherever Krishna is there has to be fortune. It cannot be misfortune. There's no way possible. And this is what Arjuna is saying. He cannot understand. You are here, so fortune should be there, but we are going to commit sinful activity, and I see only misfortune. So these two things don't add up. So please, he's saying, guide me. So Prabhupada writes, according to Vedic injunctions, there are 6 kinds of aggressors. A poison giver, one who sets fire to the house, one who attacks with deadly weapons, one who plunders riches, and one who occupies another's land, and one who kidnaps a wife. So according to Vedic, there are 6 kinds of aggressors. So because Arjuna used this word, aggressors. Such aggressors are at once to be killed, and no sin is incurred by killing such aggressors. So a poison giver, one who sets fire to the house, one who attacks with deadly weapons, one who plunders riches, one who occupies another's land, and one who kidnaps a wife. So it's not 10-hour or 12-hour job. It's 24 hours, 7 days, and on weekends it's more busy than on weekdays, right? But men cannot do this. They're just not designed for that. Somehow they're not. No matter how hard they try, they cannot do it. But ladies, they can do it just like, for them it's like, just like that, they can do it. So the way, why Chanakya Pandit is saying, because women tend to be more emotional. And they can easily be, and later on Prabhupada writes, in one of the prophets, they are taken advantage of by the unscrupulous men. If they are not protected by, like before marriage by the father, after marriage by the husband, and if the husband dies or goes for sannyas, then by the grown-up sons. They can be misled. By whom? By unscrupulous men. So that's where the whole problem starts. Unwanted progeny, who have no knowledge of the tradition. And like next verse it will come, the Shraddha ceremony will stop. And what will happen to the ancestors? It's all mess. And this is happening right now also. Why we are having so many divorces, extramarital affairs? And now even in India it's becoming very popular. The concept of marriage is losing. It's going away. Boys and girls, they just don't want to get married. They say it's too much problem. They have seen too many divorces happening in their relations or in their friend circles. They say, we don't want to get married. Why go through all this hassle?
I have a question for you. I hope you don't take it personally. But
It's okay.
how we can correct this problem? I wanted to know first in India, because we are traditionally, we're all go in a religious path. Whereas here we have to learn and we have to get a lot of information from others and things like that. How do you correct it in Indian society at this point? Because we as I observed, maybe I may be wrong. Here we are more devotional than compared to India. Maybe I'm wrong, I don't know.
Well, in India also we have lots of devotion. It is still Punya Bhumi.
No, it is a Punya Bhumi. How you are going to correct these type of issues, how you address them?
Just like a generation or two generations back, the divorce thing was never heard of, right? Why?
Because of the family
Pressure, tradition,
Yes.
and also there was more tolerance
Yes.
between husband and wife. And also, one major reason was not a lot of independence.
Yes.
Given.
Financial independence.
Yeah. But now it's all changing. So, okay, the family has to have two incomes because expenses are increasing, there are more desires, more needs, fine. But if we can still have the tolerance level up. But right now the thing is, in India we come across, in Delhi, so many cases. I'm making the same money. Ladies would say, why should I listen to him? Same time, I'm not saying husband is like Lord Ram. I'm not saying that also. but if there is a relationship of respect, of gratitude towards each other, of a sense of responsibility towards each other, towards the family, towards the society in general, then the relationship continues. Even if there are always be ups and downs. That's in any relationship. But if that sense is there, and that sense can only come if we have Krishna in the center. If you're living as a devotees. Otherwise, as it says, love at first sight and divorce at first fight. The relation, it starts with courting and ends up in a court. But that sense of responsibility is missing. And moreover, in older days, of course the family pressure, elders, everybody was there, fine. And then, like Chanakya Pandit, same Chanakya Pandit said also, Putra hinam griha shunyam. Means if there is no kid, especially putra, then that family is it's like a zero. Because the babies, generally, they keep the family together. They keep husband and wife together because then they don't think for themselves, they think for the baby, welfare of the baby. So that's also one of the reasons families are breaking, because people, they don't want to have kids. And we don't want responsibility. We just want the enjoyment, but no responsibility. My wife says, if I have kids, that means I have to be out of my career. Why should I have babies? If I have kids, then I cannot go and enjoy, go on my vacations, and my figure will be lost, and husband also thinks this way. How can I go for vacation? Why have kids? And if the kids are not there in the middle, how are they going to stay together? It's very difficult. So many, and these problems, again, Arjuna is bringing up the right point, saying if the family elders are gone, who's going to teach the younger members how to remain together, how to live together? It's a big problem today. It's increasing more and more and more and more. In America, it's very high rate of divorce, right? It's what, 60-70%, something like that. In India also, it's increasing. It's very much on the rise.
1/3 in this country.
No, more than that. Much more than that. And in India also it's. And I said that now they are more like live-in relationships. They don't believe in marriage, just live together. Because if you get married, then too many issues, too many responsibilities. Why have all this? So this is when all the traditions are going down. And it's a problem.
We migrated 40 years ago to this country. I am still 40 years back person here. So I wonder how, when you hear all these things, it bothers, and how you are handling, because we have a lot of Hinduism in back home. They with that, and here we are Western culture, but in India, born and raised as a Hindu, and we have some values and things.
See, in India, everybody looks towards America for guidance. When we are here, we look towards India for guidance. From whatever old traditions and old upbringing we had. So that's where the problem is. They all watch all the Hollywood movies, and even the Bollywood movies, and worse than Hollywood movies, I would say. Because they think we are advancing if we do all this. And now if you go to India, how many girls or ladies wear sari? It's going down, the number is going down. Sari or suit, not many now. And you're considered backward if you're wearing the traditional dresses. So, similar thing about the traditional values. In Gurgaon, because I preach more in Gurgaon now. Gurgaon is a hub of all the multinational companies now. Lots of multinational companies. So means lots of young crowd is there to work for them. And this young crowd doesn't necessarily come from Delhi, they're like small cities all over North India. So these kids, boys and girls, they come to work in Gurgaon and they get good package, which they hadn't seen in their own cities. So what do you think they'll do?
Disposable income.
What do you think? No parents living in PGs, no parents to be afraid of. And on Wednesday nights, in all the bars in Gurgaon, they have happy hour for the ladies, free drinks for the ladies. On Wednesday night, because they know Tuesday night they cannot do that. And Thursday night also is Sai Baba day. They are also very smart in marketing, so they do on Wednesday night. And why they?
Wednesday is Ganesha.
Not everybody believes that. No, Ganesha is more in the Mumbai side. Ganesha is more towards Bombay, Maharashtra, not in North. So Wednesday they give them free drinks. So what will happen on Friday or Saturday? They themselves will go and
They will go. Because it's a
they'll
weekend.
buy. Wednesday they'll getting for free. They'll get hooked. And after drinking, what will happen? And in India, I worked here, I was in corporate America. Any party we had like beer or wine. Of course, other drinks were there, but at the most beer or wine. But in India, they do hard liquor. Nobody goes with beer. It's hard liquor. Rum, whiskey, this, that. And everybody drinks. This has become a culture there. Girls, boys, everybody, they drink. Because they think if you don't drink, you cannot You cannot match up with the expectations of the bosses. You cannot be in the same company. Here I remember, I never drank. I mean, in the parties, in the office parties, and still there was no problem. There was no pressure from anybody.
Yeah, they respect it. They
They respected your decision. But in India, it's completely opposite. They force you.
We are very fortunate. Devendraji started this, and we are sharing, so we are not close to that type of atmosphere.
Yeah, it's very good, but we have to teach the people who are being misled. That's a debt we have towards Srila Prabhupada. We have to teach, we have to preach. That's why preachers take lots of risks. When we preach in India also, we take lots of risks. So that's okay. Well, it's a sorry state right now in India.
Mobile, I'm more responsible.
Pardon me?
TV and
TV and
mobile.
mobile.
Oh yeah, they have like so much access to internet and TV. They listen to TV Maharaj, but not to and the movies and the newspaper. Even if you open a newspaper, kind of nonsense advertisements you see in the newspaper. At least in America, you don't see that. Hoardings, big hoardings, they can put anywhere. Nobody stops them. At least this is one thing good they did in Gurgaon, no hoardings. Not even religious hoardings. You cannot put any hoardings anywhere. So even for our Rath Yatra or Janmashtami, we suffer a lot because we cannot advertise openly. But it's a good thing. In Delhi you put hoardings, all sorts of nonsense. And the movie hoardings, so it's a sorry state actually. But at the same time, India is still pious land. Still very much piety is there. All the dhams are there, tirthas are there. It's still there. So it's just Krishna has given us a little more work to do. That's all. So as a matter of indebtedness to Srila Prabhupada, this is our duty. We all have to become preachers. We have to preach this message of Bhagavad Gita. We have no option. So first we adopt it and then we give it to others. It's the best life, best thing to do in the world, in your life. Should we go further or?
I mean, Prabhu, you brought a very good point about first we should adopt this knowledge and reach out to others. So that's what we try to do here in all the other congregations. So can you please advise us on what more we can do? Because once we start doing ourselves, it's like, okay, I'm done, my life is all successful,
No.
I know everything. So how can we reach out to more people? What should we do, at least for the sake of our kids and their future?
See, kids will learn not from parents' words, but from parents' actions. How they live their day-to-day lives. They learn more from that. So we have to make sure our lives are proper, oriented towards serving Krishna. And if there is any, there will always be discord, there will always be issues between husband and wife. Just sort it out in a bedroom, not in front of kids. And if we want them to be devotees, first we have to become devotees. We have to show them by our example. And then they learn. And also, in general, we have to preach. We have to preach to others. Bring more and more people. Have more and more house programs. In America, we don't have problem in house there's enough space for more people to come and join. And when we do these programs regularly, first it brings good vibrations in the house, and it sets a good example for the kids to follow also. And at the same time, we are pleasing Krishna. Where Krishna says in Gita, one who gives this knowledge to others, he is most dear to me than anybody else. But at the same time, Prabhupada didn't come to America to preach to Indians only. So we have to try to preach to Americans also. Locals have to be. This is not Indian Society for Krishna Consciousness. It's international society. So we have to try. We pray to Prabhupada. Prabhupada will give all the strength necessary to preach to Americans. And one thing that we used to do when I was working in the office, every Sunday I would take some prasadam from the temple, like cookies or some sweets. Monday, just take it to the office, leave it in the kitchen area. Anybody who comes, goes, he eats, he picks up one cookie or one piece of cake or something. At least prasadam, they are having prasadam. And if it is not a problem in the office, you can leave some small books also. Just say for free. It costs $1 only, right? Yeah. And just take it for free. Anybody who touches, opens a book, reads one page, his life can change. So you can say these are spiritual books, not religious, spiritual books. So people will take. If somebody gives money, well and good. If somebody doesn't, okay. This is a Shastradhan program, just give it out. And moreover, also in the office I have seen, if we are pretty fixed up in our bhakti, in the beginning, your colleagues will make fun of you. What is this? What do you do? But in the end, if they have any problem in their life, they'll come and ask you. It happens. Because they have full faith that you are a spiritual person and you will not misguide. So then that is a time for preaching. Like Krishna also, he didn't start speaking till Arjuna was just saying his doubts. Until Arjuna surrendered to Krishna, Krishna didn't start speaking. So preaching is not like we see anything and we start. No. Let him come. Let him have some faith in us, confidence in us. And come. He will come. One of these days, people will come. But our nature, our behavior, our outlook has to be very spiritual. So people develop this faith. And this is how we preach. We have to give out the message of Bhagavad Gita. So first we have to live it and then we can give it. Take it. Hare Krishna. So thank you all very much. So I won't say you didn't have any plan for the long weekend. This is the best time to read.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I was not expecting so many devotees. So maybe we should rethink our long weekend schedule now.
Actually, it is going to be spiritual weekend.
Yeah, it will be super spiritual.
So we can have more sessions.
Yes.
We have long weekends or longer sessions.
We can
Sure.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Jai Ho, Shri Radhe Shyam, Shri Radhe Shyam, Jai Shri Radhe
Hare Hare
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Lalad lad gaine. Lalad lad gaine. Hiranyakashi purvakama. Hiranyakashi purvakama. Bhakti Vidurpriya भगवान की जगत प्रहलाद महाराज की जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय गौर प्रेम।
Darsh, you would like to sing the singer once more? Huh?
Oh, you wanted to sing that song?
Fine. Come.
Ansh, let others also.
Namaste Narashivaya.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. I mean, it's long weekend, but definitely we have very good gathering. Thank you so much. And truly, thank you so much because I know we scheduled it for Saturday first, and then we requested to come on Friday, and he drove himself from Washington on the weekday. Thank you so much. Few things. Yeah, so Prabhuji is staying with Anita Didi and Sujay Prabhu tonight. So tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. At Sujay Prabhu's and Anita Didi's home, we will have katha. So we can hear more from Prabhuji. And I don't know the topic of the katha, but I think it's katha plus question answer, whatever Prabhuji feel appropriate. But it's a I think very good opportunity. But really, Prabhuji, like
Maybe
today.
we can continue the same Bhagavad Gita.
Sure.
We'll finish the first chapter.
Sure. So today it was very different perspective we saw. Even just a shlok which looked like just like a story, you can learn so much if you hear from the right authority. It was very different perspective we heard from you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. So, and then tomorrow we have morning katha at 11 a.m. And then Sunday morning, Vasudev Das Prabhuji is here. So we'll have a Bhagavatam katha at Manoj Agrawal Prabhu and Anamika Didi's home. 8:30 to 11:30 a.m. in the morning. So hopefully all of us can join there. What else? Yes, I think a lot of things there. Yeah, Sunday we have Baltimore Rath Yatra also, so I'm not sure, but if anybody would like to go, the timings is, I think we have to reach there by 11 or 11:30, and cart starts at 12 noon. So Festival of India and Rath Yatra both. A lot of devotees from Manisburg will be definitely going. So that is one thing going on, and we had our wedding Janmashtami Radhashtami celebration meeting on last Friday. So we started planning for that. It's a lot of time still, but I think we need to plan a few things in advance. So we did some planning over there. Prabhu is not here. I think most of the tasks are with him because that may take a couple of months. So, but again, we will have recurring meeting for that. So as Prabhuji today advised, on us, whatever we have got, we should definitely try to distribute to others. So with Prabhuji's blessings and everybody's blessings, hopefully we'll have a very good Janmashtami celebration this year also. Haribo. I think my phone is hung, so okay, now it's lighting. I think that's it.
Celebrate here or
Prabhuji, what we do every year after Radhashtami, Janmashtami, both festivals, we pick a date and we reach out to a larger community in the area. So we rent a hall, church hall, and we organize. So we have been doing it for last 3 years. This year will be the 4th year, and we we have been able to invite about 200 plus people from the community. So it's more like trying to attract them, whether they come to the program or not, but at least distributing the Harinam and Prashadam to them. So all the devotees, they cook themselves for 200 plus people.
At least that many devotees come on that day every
Absolutely,
year.
absolutely. And they look forward for, if you go around the community, they look forward to when is the Janmashtami program you guys are doing. So it's very inspiring, very encouraging for them. So it's more like distributing the Harinam and Prashadam to them. So all the devotees, they work very hard, and we cook Prashadam ourselves, and kids do a lot of bhajan kirtan, and we have been very successful in doing that so far.
I think you should take a database, keep a database, and invite them for house programs or
We
something.
try.
That's more important.
Any more suggestions?
Otherwise, it becomes a spiritual entertainment.
Right.
They come, take prashad, go away.
Right.
The main thing is philosophy.
Right.
So bring them for a house program. Take the database, whichever area they live nearby, whichever house program.
Yeah, that's a good idea. We have a good database. If all of us can start calling them or sending them email, we can try to at least, if not all the programs, some of the programs. We do see like infrequent visits sometimes, like depending on whose house the program is. So we see them coming over there.
And on that program day, do book distribution.
Yeah, we do that.
That's very again very important.
Yeah.
That's all, just some ideas. I'm
Thank
pretty
you.
sure you are doing all that.
Sure. Just bless us, Prabhuji, so we can.
You need Prabhupada's lessons.
So that's it. I think.
I turned it off.
So that's all the announcements. Anything? I mean.
Probably we have a New York Rath Yatra, so if any.
11 June.
Yeah, 11 June is a New York Rath Yatra, the biggest in this area. Biggest and I think the best. There is no harm in, although we also do Rath Yatra in Harrisburg, but there is no doubt that is the best one.
Best in a sense, more of the sannyasis will be there, so we can take more darshan.
Yeah, a lot of spiritual leaders, a lot of
Associations.
they come. That is 11th June, and there is a bus going. There is a plan to have a bus from Harrisburg. So I think it's about to fill. So if anybody is interested, let us know. The bus will leave from the temple, but I think if we have enough devotee here, we can probably request to have a stopover. I'm not sure if it will work out, but if we need number first. It's I think $44 per person per seat. That's the cost, and all the breakfast, lunch, everything will be provided. Okay. So that's it. So tomorrow morning we have a program, and Sunday morning also we have a program. Thank you. Hare Krishna. We will do the Prashadam Arti. Yeah, sorry. We will be celebrating Arul and Dwit's birthday. It was in the same month. Cut cake.
Mahaprasade Govinde
Mahaprasade Govinde
Nama Brahmaya Vishnave
Nama Brahmane